Why do we choose to follow someone on social media? And not just our friends or our family members, but businesses or other influencers. It's because we like what they have to say, we find value in it, and we want to fill our feeds with their posts. Today, I'm gonna give you 6 strategies that you can use to get more people to follow you on social media in the next year. I'm Samantha Russell from 20 Over 10, and let's jump right into point number 1, which is decide why someone should follow you. We have so many things competing for our attention every day, and more our feeds are getting filled with even more ads or other information we may not think is relevant to us. So who we choose to follow organically is a big deal. So you want to think about what specifically you want to be known for and choose a topic that is as narrow as possible. So for example, Dave Zoller here, he specifically posts tax tips for business owners. So all of the posts that he has help relate tax strategies to things that business owners or entrepreneurs are thinking about. He makes them very timely and specific to deadlines or what's going on in the calendar year. Here's another great example from Jeannie Fisher. Jeannie uses the hashtag 401k lady, which I love. She's created a hashtag for herself. And she, as you can imagine, posts specifically about 401k plans. Now, in this instance, she's talking to human resources and others that are making these decisions as the plan sponsor. So again, it's not just the content, but who is your audience that you want to get as defined on as possible so you can make hyper-specific content for that audience. Okay, so that leads me to point number 2. Once you decide why someone should follow you, you want to make content specific to that group, as specific as you possibly can. So think about what questions do they have? What's going on in their life at this time of year that you can answer, that you can make content around. And it doesn't even need to be a full blog post or a video like this. You can just have a social media post, my 5 best tips for X. It does not need to be a full post that takes them off social media back to a blog or a website every single time. It can just be a post that shares your information right there on the social media platform. Okay, point number 3 is a little controversial, but it is don't sway from your lane. And what I mean by this is if you are Jeannie Fisher and you've decided you're specifically going to provide information about 401ks to plan sponsors and human resources, don't all of a sudden start posting about other topics that are not going to reinforce the reason people follow you. Yes, you'll hear me often talk about you should share pictures of your family or books you're reading or things like that every once in a while. But I wouldn't suggest that, Jeannie all of a sudden starts talking about college planning, which is a different audience and a different reason people are going to want to follow her, right? So you want to stay in your lane as much as you can while still sprinkling in personal information about yourself. That's different than changing the topic at hand. Okay, tip number 4 or strategy number 4 is to post daily. Now, I know this can be a lot to ask, at least 5 days a week, 5 business days post daily. But again, this doesn't need to mean that you write a full blog post or you create a video or an infographic for each one of these social posts. It can be you found an article in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal that reinforces something you talk about. So you post that and you share your opinion on it. It can be a photo of something you found with a little, quote above it. It doesn't need to be a full article back to your blog or website, but posting daily is really important to build your follower base. That consistency is crucial. All right, number 5, we're on to tip number 5. Share more of what engages and less of what doesn't. Wow, who would have ever thought? But it's so true. You need to look at your analytics every month and see what were your top posts. What were the posts that got people to leave comments? What were the posts that had people really excited that you got reshares on? Those are the types of pieces that you want to post more of. Now, a great thing about analytics is it gives us data, but in order to really be able to tell what works or what doesn't, I suggest posting everything at least twice. So you don't want to do that over the course of the month, like post everything twice. But let's say it's now December and you go back and look at what your best performing posts were in July. As long as they're a bit evergreen, they're not pertinent just to back to school or something like that, you could repost them now in December and see if it changes at all who engages, maybe change the time of day or the day of the week. So repurpose that content and then be able to really look at the analytics of what performs best. And then tip number 6, my last tip, is to engage daily with others. Now, I've said this before, but what I want you to do is choose 2 social media platforms to go all in on to prioritize spending your time. And then on those 2 platforms, at least twice a day, morning and afternoon, log on and choose 5 posts to comment on. So in the morning, I'm gonna wake up, I have my coffee, I'm gonna log on to LinkedIn, I'm gonna choose 5 people in my feed and leave comments on their posts. And not just, hey, great post, but something really valuable that adds to the conversation. Then Twitter is my second platform I'm prioritizing, so I'm gonna go log into Twitter, choose 5 posts in my feed and leave comments there as well. So that's in the morning, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing in the afternoon. You will be astounded by how much this builds reciprocity, and the same people you're leaving comments on, in turn, when you post something, will go and leave a comment on your own post, right? So those are our 6 tips for growing your following in this next year. If you try them out, please tag me and let me know how it's going for you. I would love to see your results. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, where every week we share a new marketing tip just like this that's easy to digest and that you can implement right away to grow your business. Have a very great rest of the year, and talk to you soon.